Hello everyone, how are you all? I am Siddharth Kumar Jha and I welcome you in the journey of digital image processing. So far we have learned like what is digital image processing and the steps involved and the system component required. Okay, but before we can dive deeper into the enhancement and filtering, we need to understand the very basics like what exactly is a digital image and how we represented it and what do brightness, contrast, and intensity really mean? So in this video, we shall cover the fundamentals of the digital image. So that let me go to my notepad for the detailed explanation and step-by-step visualization of all the concepts. So just a second, let me open this. Okay, so first we will understand like what is a digital image. Okay. So an image is a 2D function. So a image or an image is a 2D function and it is denoted as function of x comma y. Okay. So f of x comma y is your intensity, brightness, brightness at the location. Okay, so when x and y are intensity values for finite and discrete, so this is your digital image. Okay, so when x comma y are intensity values are finite and discrete, so that is your digital image. Okay, so it is stored as a matrix of pixels. Okay, so it is stored in a matrix of pixels are your picture element. Okay, so let's understand like what is pixel or your like you can say the picture element. Okay, so the second topic is your pixel, which is your picture element. So what it is? So it is the smallest unit of digital image. Digital image. Okay, so each pixel carries an intensity value as intensity and intensity values. Okay, so for example, is your grayscale and your color. So grayscale and your color. So grayscale value from how much? 0 to 255, and your color it is a combination. It is your combination of RGB values. Okay, so next we will understand like type of digital image. Okay, so types of digital image. So it is basically the three type. The first one is your binary image. Okay, second one is your grayscale image, and the third one which is your color image. Okay, so the binary image like has only two values, 0 and 1. So 0 is represented as black and 1 is represented as white. Okay, so the next one is your grayscale image. So it is intensity levels between 0 to 255, 0 to 255, and it is only two values, 0 and 1. 0 means black and 1 means white. Okay, so the next one is your color images. It is represented using three channels, which is RGB, red, green, and blue. Okay, so the next one, we will talk about like brightness, contrast, and intensity. Brightness, contrast, and intensity. So first talk about the brightness. So brightness. So brightness is nothing but it is subjective perception of light intensity. Okay, so subjective perception of light intensity. Okay, so the next one is your contrast. So contrast is nothing but the difference between brightness brightness between object and your background. Okay, so the next one is your intensity. So intensity is nothing but the actual uh, measurable value of brightness. Your Let me write it down. Of brightness at a pixel. Okay. So for example, a bright sunny photo has high intensity. A night photo has low intensity. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So now we will talk about the coordinate system of image. So coordinate system of image. Okay, so image are represented as 2D function, like your 2D array, which I have already told. So the top left corner is your 0, comma 0, and x is your horizontal direction and y is your vertical direction. Okay, so image are represented as 2D array where top left corner is your origin, or you can say the 0, comma 0, where x is your horizontal direction and y is your vertical direction. Okay, so next talk about the image size and the resolution. Okay, so image size and resolution. So what it is basically? So it is basically two types. So the first one is your spatial resolution. Okay, so a spatial resolution means number of pixel in the image it should be like 1920 into 1080. Okay, which is your basic resolution of your phone and your computer screen and everything which you are using. It is a standard value. Okay, so the next one, the second type is your gray level resolution. Okay, so it is your number of intensity level, like it is depend on the bit per pixel. Okay, so bit per pixel, bits per pixel. So one bit is two level, is your black and white. Okay, 8 bit is your 256, which 256 level, which is a standard. Okay, and the 24 bit, which is almost 16 million colors. So it is a standard RGB. So you can say like a standard RGB. Okay. So now we will talk about the real life examples. So let me go to the next page. So real life example. So suppose image is given like 512 into 512 grayscale grayscale image with 8 bits label, and you have to find out its size. Okay, so how you are going to find that? So that you have to calculate the total pixel. Okay, so total pixel, which will be your 512 into 512, which is around 262144. Okay, so we know each pixel each pixel is equal to 1 byte. So 262144 pixel is equal to almost your 262 KB. Okay, so this is your overall size of that image. So let's talk about the key takeaways from the today's lecture. So the first one is your digital image. So it is discrete representation of intensity and the coordinates, and pixels are the smallest unit of the representation, and resolution is your spatial plus gray level defines the image quality. Okay, and we have talked about the brightness, contrast, and intensity are the fundamental concepts. So that's about the fundamental and the foundation of the digital image: pixels, intensity, and brightness, and the contrast and your resolution. So without understanding these basics, it is impossible to work on the enhancement, restoration, or your compression. So that's about the today video. So in the next, we will explore like brightness adaptation and discrimination, like which is basically how a human eye prescribe images and why that matters in the digital image processing. So if you are finding this series is helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So see you in the next session. Tab tak ke liye keep learning and keep exploring. Bye bye.